This is Pankaj Kapadia, and in this particular session we are going to learn about directional power relay. So we have already gone through the induction type relay, and in this particular lecture we are going to learn about directional power relay. So what is directional power relay? Directional power relay. Directional power relay. So the directional power relay means the relay operates for the specific direction of the actuating quantity in the circuit. I repeat, directional means the relay operates for the specific direction of the actuating quantity in the circuit. Directional power relay operates when power in the circuit flows in the specific direction. Okay, when it operates when power in the circuit flows in the specific direction. And the construction of and the principle of operation of the relay is similar to the induction type watt-hour meter relay, but there is basic difference. The difference is that in watt-hour meter type relay the torque is produced due to interaction of the two fluxes, and two fluxes that is produced by only the current derived from the secondary of CT, while in the directional power relay the torque is produced due to interaction of the two fluxes produced from both voltage and current of the circuit. So the relay has two windings. One act as a voltage coil while another one act as a current coil, similar to a wattmeter actually. So the upper magnet, there is construction like the upper magnet carries a voltage coil, or you can say potential coil. Voltage coil and potential coil both are the same thing. Okay, potential coil which is energized from PT, potential transformer, and while the lower magnet carries a current, lower magnet it carries a current coil which is energized by CT, energized from CT in the line to be protected. So this is how the directional power relay actually works. So let me just give you the. So the the directional relay recognizes the direction in which fault occurs. Okay, where fault occurs, it will recognize its direction relatives to the location of the relay. So the principle of directional relay, as you can observe here, this is the particular figure of directional power relay. This is the one circuit breaker, and this one is the circuit breaker, another circuit breaker. This is X circuit breaker and this is Y circuit breaker. There is one station, and near about both of the CT is mounted here, and another one CT is mounted here. So this is the direction of tripping, like this, and this one is also direction of tripping. So let me tell you that consider a feeder XY. Okay, here consider a figure XY, here the X and Y feeder. This is passing through a station A. The circuit breaker in feeder AY dash, as you can see here, the circuit breaker in the feeder AY dash, this is A and Y dash, is provided with a directional relay R. Okay, this is the directional relay R, which will trip the circuit breaker Y. So if the fault power flow is in the direction of AY alone, then and then it will operate, and this circuit breaker will initiate the operation. Therefore, fault in feeder AX, the circuit breaker, this is the for let's say this is relay R. Okay, this is the direction of tripping. Direction of tripping. So if the fault power flow is in the direction of AY, then this will initiate, and therefore for faults in the feeder AX, this is the A and X, okay, this particular section AX, the breaker CBY does not trip unnecessarily. However, for faults in feeder AY, the circuit breaker CBY trips due to directional feature of relay. Then it is set to act in the direction of AY. So this particular relay will operate this circuit breaker, and this particular relay will operate this circuit breaker. So either in direction. Fine. So this will not operate this circuit breaker, and this will not operate this circuit breaker. So this is how directional power relay work. Okay, so there are the numbers of tappings are provided to the current coil with which desired current setting can be achieved. Also, there is restraining torque is provided by the spiral spring actually. So this type of relay is also called reverse power relay. So far as the direction of fault current flows is concerned, reverse power relays with directional feature not only change the direction of the power flow but also measures the magnitude of the power flow. So this is how directional relay is worked. Now the numbers of tappings are provided to the current coil with which the desired current setting can be achieved. Okay, there is restraining restraining torque is also provided by the spiral rings, and the spindle of the disc carries the moving contacts which makes the contact with tripping circuit terminals when the disc rotates. So how does it work? That we are going to see. So let me just give you the information about this kind of structure. So here is the directional power relay. This is the directional power relay. Fine. As you can see here, there is one current coil. Also here the lower. This is the upper magnet. This is the lower magnet. The current from the CT is given over here, and voltage from the potential transformer is given over here. Fine. So this is voltage coil and this is current coil. This is the spindle, and from that this point are dragged out and is given to the and is fed to the trip circuit. This is the disc which is allowed to rotate between these two electromagnets. So the flux produced by this voltage coil is phi1, and the flux produced by this current coil will be phi2. This is the basic simple operation of your directional power relay. So the numbers of tappings are provided to the current coil which desired current setting can be achieved. Okay, so number of tappings are provided here as per our requirement. So the voltage coil is provided on the upper magnet that produces the flux phi1. This lags the voltage V by 90 degree. So this flux phi will lag the applied voltage V by 90 degree, and the current I is sensed by the current coil on lower magnet which produces the flux phi2. This is in phase with current I, and the current I lag behind the applied voltage V by an angle phi. This stuff we already know. Fine. Though the angle between phi1 and phi2 is alpha. So the angle between phi1 and phi2 will be alpha. So you can see the construction and principle of operation of this relay is similar to the induction type watt-meter relay. The difference is that in watt-meter type relay, the torque is produced due to interaction of the two fluxes that is produced by only the current derived from the secondary of CT. While in the directional power relay, the torque is produced due to interaction of fluxes produced from both voltage and current, similar to the wattmeter. So the voltage coil provided on the upper magnet, it produces the flux phi1, as you can observe here. Phi1 produces here, and this lags the voltage V by 90. So this is the applied voltage. I have taken this as my reference voltage. So this is voltage V. Fine. And the flux phi1 which is produced because of this applied voltage, the flux phi1, which is produced because of this applied voltage V1, which is applied to the upper magnet, as you can see here, this voltage V is applied, and because of this voltage, flux phi1 will be produced, and this flux phi1, because of inductive in nature, this flux phi1 will lag behind this applied voltage by 90 degree, as you can observe here. Fine, so the current I is sensed by the current coil on the lower magnet, and which produces the flux phi2, but this is in phase with the current I. So but this current I will lag behind some voltage, by an angle phi. Actually I have taken this as a phi, so the current I lags the voltage V by an angle phi. So the angle between phi1 and phi2 is alpha, as shown in figure. This is alpha. So angle between phi1 and phi2. What is phi1 here? The flux produced by the upper magnet, and phi2 the flux produced by the lower magnet. So the interaction of the fluxes phi1 and phi2 that produces the torque. Hence we can write torque is proportional to what? Phi1 phi2 into sine alpha. What is the angle alpha? Alpha is nothing but it is the angle between phi1 and phi2. But phi1 is proportional to what? Voltage, and phi2 is proportional to what? Current. So while alpha is equal to what? 90 minus phi. As you can observe here, what is alpha? If I want this angle, particularly this alpha, so I have to make this 90 minus 5. Fine, so you will get alpha is equal to 90 minus phi. So T is proportional to what? Torque is proportional to what? Voltage, current, and sine 90 minus phi. So torque is proportional to what? Vi cos phi is proportional to power in circuit. Fine, so under normal condition, the driving torque act in the same direction as that of the restraining torque. But when there is a current reversal and hence the power reversal, then the driving torque act in opposite direction to the restraining torque in such a manner that moving contacts close the tripping circuit. So this is all about the directional power relay. So this relay is used for providing the reverse power protection to synchronous machine, and the relay can be single phase or three phase also. So moving further with the directional induction type relay, this is the type of overcurrent relay which is directional induction type relay. Fine, so under short circuit conditions the voltage falls drastically, and such a reduced voltage may be not sufficient to produce the driving torque which is required for the relay operation. Hence in practice directional induction type overcurrent relay is used. This relay operates almost independent of system voltage and power factor also. So directional power relay is not suitable to use as a protective relay under short circuit condition. Why it is so? Because the under short circuit condition directional relay is not suitable to use, because the protective relay under short circuit condition the voltage falls drastically, and such a reduced voltage not be sufficient to produce the driving torque. So hence in practice directional induction type overcurrent relay is used, and this relay operates almost independent of system voltage and power factor, as I have mentioned earlier. And the directional element which is directional power relay, first there are two elements actually. First one is directional element and second one is non-directional element. Fine, so what is a directional element? This is as you can see here, this part is the directional element and this is non-directional element. Fine, so as you can see the structure here, the combination of both of these two. So the directional element is nothing but a directional power relay which operates when power in the circuit flows in a particular directional. This is the directional relay. Fine, this the directional element is nothing but it is the one type of a specific directional relay, and the voltage coil of this element is energized by the system voltage through potential transformer. So here the voltage from the PT is given and this coil is potential coil, or you can say voltage coil here. fine, which is mounted here, and the current coil on the lower magnet is energized by the system through the current transformer. This is the current coil, and which is energized by the CT. Current from the CT is given over here. Fine. So and the trip contacts of this relay are connected to the secondary winding of the non-directional relay. This is the, as you can see here, the trip contacts of this relay are connected to the secondary winding of the non-directional relay. So in that case, let me just have a look. Okay, as you can observe here now, full diagram of your overcurrent induction relay. Fine. So this is the upper portion and this is the lower portion. This is the directional and this is non-directional element. This is directional element. This is non-directional element. This is the plug setting bridge. Fine. So in the directional relay, I have mentioned that what are the components given over there. But in the next section, this is the non-directional element. The current coil of the directional element is connected in series with the primary winding of the non-directional element. As you can see here, this coil is connected in series with this lower magnet. Fine. So the plug setting bridge is provided to adjust the current setting as per our requirement. This is the plug bridge, and by means of that you can adjust the current setting as per our requirement. And the trip contacts are in series with the winding on the lower magnet of non-directional element. So unless the trip contacts are closed by the movement of the disc of directional element, the non-directional element cannot operate. So unless the trip contacts are closed by the movement of the disc of directional element, the non-directional element cannot operate. So this is the important point. This is the trip circuit of the directional relay. Trip circuit. Okay, and this is the okay. This is the trip circuit of non-directional relay. So this is the trip circuit of the non-directional element, and this is the trip circuit of the directional element. So the relay will operate only when the trip circuit of the non-directional relay will close, and it will give signal to the non-directional relay. Now for this to happen, first it is necessary to this trip circuit of non-directional relay must be closed. So how it will work? So under normal condition, power flows in the proper direction. So under normal condition, power flows in the proper direction, and hence directional element of the relay is inoperative. Okay, under normal condition, power flows in the proper direction, and hence directional element of the relay is inoperative. Thus the secondary winding of the lower magnet of the non-directional relay on non-directional element is open, and hence non-directional element is also inoperative. So under normal condition, power flows in the proper direction, and hence directional element of the relay is inoperative, obviously. So thus the secondary winding on the lower magnet is open, and hence non-directional element is also inoperative. When the fault takes place, the current or power in the circuit has a tendency to flow in the reverse direction. Fine, it is having some tendency of power. Okay, power has a tendency to flow in the reverse direction. So when the fault takes place, the current or power in the circuit has a tendency to flow in reverse direction, and the current flows through current coil of the directional element, which produces the flux. The current in the voltage coil produces another flux, and the two fluxes interact to produce the torque, due to which the disc rotates. So as disc rotates, the trip contacts get closed. This is one dash, this 1 and 1 dash, trip circuit get closed. And note that here the design of directional element is such that it is very sensitive, and through voltage falls under short circuit, the current coil is responsible to produce sufficient torque to have a disc rotation. Fine, so it is so sensitive that it can operate even at 2% of power flow in the reverse direction. So if there is a power reversal of only 2%, so that disc is particularly so sensitive that it can operate even at 2% of the power that is flowing in the reverse direction. So the current also flows through primary winding on the upper magnet of the non-directional element, thus energizes the winding to produce the flux. So this flux induces the EMF in the secondary winding of the non-directional element according to the principle of induction, and as the contacts 1 and 1 dash are closed, the secondary winding has a closed path. This has a closed path, hence the induced EMF drives the current through it and producing the another flux, and these two fluxes interact to produce the driving torque, which rotates the disc, and thus the contacts of trip circuit get closed and it opens the circuit breaker to isolate the faulty section. So the directional element must operate first. This element, it must operate first to have operation of the non-directional element, otherwise this structure will not be operate. Okay, there are some conditions that must be satisfied to have the operation of the entire relay. First one is what? The direction of current in the circuit, it must reverse to operate directional element, and the current value in the reverse direction must be greater than the current setting. Current value in the reverse direction must be greater than the current setting. And the third one is the high value of current must persist for a time period which is greater than the time setting of the relay. So this was all about the directional induction type overcurrent relay. Now let us just consider and we'll see the characteristics of directional power relay. So the next topic will be the characteristics of directional power relay. Directional power relay, or you can say that directional characteristics. Directional characteristics. Fine. Directional characteristics. So let us study the phasor diagram to understand the directional characteristic of the relay. So for the phasor diagram, let voltage V is equal to relay voltage, which is applied voltage actually, relay voltage through PT. Let I, which is relay coil current through CT, and theta, which is angle between voltage and current, and the theta is angle between voltage and current. So here one thing should be noted, that the system current is generally lagging the voltage. System current is generally lagging the voltage, but with suitable connection, the relay current is made to lead the voltage by angle theta. So the system current generally कैसा होता है कि लैगिंग जो होता है वोल्टेज से क्या होता है, लैगिंग होता है क्योंकि इंडक्टिव इन नेचर होता है. So the system current is generally lagging the voltage, but with suitable connection the relay current is made to lead the voltage by angle theta. Fine. So due to this, the current operation of relay at all the types of faults under all system condition is ensured. Okay. So after this we can write, so current I leads voltage V, applied voltage V by angle theta. So I can write phi V is equal to flux produced by voltage V, and this flux phi V, it lags the voltage V by angle phi. So the current I leads the voltage by angle theta, and phi V is the flux produced by the voltage V, and this flux phi V lags the voltage, applied voltage V by angle phi. And we can say phi 1 is equal to flux produced by an angle phi. Flux produced by an angle phi. Flux produced by an angle phi, but because of current, actually current I. Okay, you can write this must be. So the flux produced by the current I. So the flux phi 1 is in phase with the current I. Okay, the flux produced because of this current I, so this will both in phase actually. So the flux phi 1 will be in phase with the current I. So the phasor diagram let me draw the phasor diagram here. Assumptions are already made, so from that we can draw the phasor diagram, that the voltage V, I will take it as a reference. So let me draw a voltage angle, voltage V. This is voltage V, applied voltage V. This will I have taken as a reference, and the torque is proportional to the fluxes phi V and phi 1 and sine of the angle between the two fluxes, like this. Torque is proportional to what? There are two fluxes, phi V, phi 1, and the sine angle between these two, so phi V, phi 1. Fine. See, torque is proportional to this. So we can write the torque is proportional to what? Phi V, phi 1, phi V, phi 1 sine theta plus phi. Why? Because here you can see that the current I leads the voltage by an angle theta, and this flux phi V lags the voltage V by an angle phi, and the phi 1 flux produced by the current. So let me just have the current which is leading the voltage by certain angle. So this will be the current, and the angle between voltage and the current will be, let's say it is theta. Fine. Now the flux produced, which is phi1, the flux phi1 is produced, which is in the same phase with the current I, so I can write the phi1 here. Fine. So this is phi1 here. So another one is what? The current I for the maximum torque and the zero torque line, which we will have to see. But there is another factor, phi v is left behind. So phi v, let me draw the phi v. Phi v will lag behind this current, or this flux, particular phi1 flux 90 degree, this particular flux phi1 90 degree, and this will be your flux phi v. Fine. Let me just extend this particular graph. So there is the directional characteristics line. Directional characteristics line. And this angle will be in 90 degree, and between voltage and phi v there is flux phi. So phi v is proportional to, now phi v is proportional to v, and phi 1 is proportional to current. Okay, phi v, which is produced because of this voltage, and phi 1 is produced because of this current. So I can write torque is equal to what? Constant vi sine theta plus alpha, or you can say this is actually phi, theta plus phi, and k is here constant. K is the constant. So k is equal to what? K vi sine theta plus phi, and k is equal to constant. So the maximum torque occurs when sine theta plus phi is 1. So if this particular portion is equal to 1, then and then maximum torque occurs. So theta plus phi is equal to 90 degree. Okay, then and then you will get 1. So the condition for the maximum torque is shown here. The condition of maximum torque is this. This is 0, and maximum torque line will be like this. It will lead this current. So this will be the current for maximum torque. So here we'll get maximum torque here. Okay, and this is the zero torque line actually. So the condition for the maximum torque is here in the dotted line, and the torque is 0 when torque is 0, this 0 is sine theta plus phi is equal to 0. So which is theta plus phi is equal to 0 or 180 So this will be satisfied when the relay current I phasor, it lies along phi v, this phi v, this phasor actually, or in the antiphase with phi v, or this should be like this, antiphase with this particular phi v. The corresponding line is called zero torque line. This is the zero torque line, and is shown in this particular figure. This line is at the right angle to the maximum torque line. Thus the directional element operates that provides that the current phasor lies within the plus or minus 90 degree of the maximum torque line. So if it is displaced more than 90 degree, then the element will restrain, and both operating as well as non-operating regions, these are you can distinguish that this is the operating region, and this is non-operating region. So the maximum torque angle, what is maximum torque angle? Study the maximum torque angle. So this is the maximum torque angle. So the angle by which the current supplied to the relay leads the voltage supplied to the relay. So as to obtain the maximum torque is called maximum torque angle, and it is noted as tau as shown in the figure. Fine. So we can write from the figure, actually it is noted by tau, and we can write from the figure that phi is equal to 90 minus tau. Substituting in the torque equation will get, in the torque equation, so T is equal to what? Constant K VI sin theta plus 90 minus tau. So T is equal to what? K VI cos theta minus tau. So this is the torque equation in terms of maximum torque angle tau, and the typical values of the maximum torque angles are 0 degree, 30 degree and 45 degree, etc. Thank you.